I think these trucking companies are struggling. They're looking for ways to save money. And the greatest way to do that is to I've noticed that a lot of new truck drivers are just not making it far in their careers anymore. And the crazy part about it is, you may call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think I figured out what's going on, guys. I think I really landed, on this one, right? So hear me out real quick. Just hear me out, because I don't want you guys to look at this as me just saying things to drive videos or whatever. I'm really hearing things in the industry, and I personally have two people close to me who this has happened to. So I personally think this is what's going on, right? I think these trucking companies are struggling. They're looking for ways to save money, and the greatest way to do that is to hire somebody that's brand new, that doesn't know a whole lot, and screw them over. That's just what I think. And I've had two people come to me and tell me that they were working with different companies, and they just didn't get paid. They literally just didn't get paid, and both of these guys were newer truck drivers. So I feel like the industry is so rough that companies have to be crafty, and they have to find ways to save money. And firing the older drivers who are making a whole lot and hiring new drivers who aren't making anything is a strategy that they're using to try to make it, right? So that's just my theory. That's just what I think about. That's what I think about the situation. But I do believe these trucking companies are lying to you guys, and I do believe it's predatory hiring. They're hiring you guys knowing that they're hiring you on a sinking ship. But if they can just get you to run that load, if they just can get you to make them that check, then that's all they're hiring you to do. So even though I do see these new guys that's coming in, they're getting their CDLs and they're not going past their 8 months. At 8 months, it's already like they've been through 2-3 different jobs. You would think that, these guys coming in, that, oh man, they're just unstable. They're just, they're just not cut out for this. They keep job hopping. But they're really being treated bad by companies, though. They're really being treated bad by companies. Let me wipe my camera off, man. I see my lens here is not too clear. That might be better. Ooh, yeah, that might be better. But I do see, that these guys are being treated really, really bad. You have a lot of women in trucking now, too. So, if you're experiencing any of these type of things, guys, come and let me know so I can make video about it. But I'm only making this video because my personal family has been affected by this. I have a cousin. He was working at a company, and the company never paid him. The company never paid him. I think he worked for about 2 weeks, and he was asking like, hey, when am I going to get my check? And the company just straight up never paid him. Now, I'm not used to that. I have not worked for a company yet who has never paid me. So I'm like, yo, this might be new. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure it has happened to some of you guys. Like, let me know if it has happened. But the fact that he was a new CDL holder and he had just got the job, I was like, well, why would they? That's kind of weird, like, for them not to pay you. Like, I can see that happening, like, as an owner operator, and if you ran a load and they just didn't pay out, but he was a company driver and he's just getting a check, nothing special, right? Like, it's not like, he had his own truck and he got ripped off by a broker. He was literally hired at a company, and the company just did not pay him, which was so like why is that? Like, and he had to bounce around. He had to quit that job. He had to go somewhere else. And I knew personally, like, hey man, this is what the industry is becoming. They're trying to do this to survive. So I don't know. You guys can let me know if you feel like I'm wrong about that. You guys can let me know if you feel like I'm just causing, like a conspiracy or whatever. But I do feel like these companies are lying to you guys, man. I do feel like they're hiring you knowing that it's not gonna last, knowing that you're gonna quit, but they just want to get that check out of you for that 90 days, whatever they can get out of you. So be careful when you go to these companies, man. Start talking. One thing that you guys do that's not good for you, like, and I'm not trying to be bossy or whatever, but you guys got to start talking more. Like, start asking questions. Start when you go to a new job and you get hired and they're paying you 75 cents per mile, don't be afraid to tell the other guy who's asking you, like, hey man, how much you making? Like, don't be afraid. Like, we are all in the same boat. Talk to one another. Like, find out. You may be making 75 cents and they may be like, hey man, they hired such and such at 85 cents. Like, and now to like, hey man, why y'all hired me in at this rate and you hired this person at that rate, they came in after me. This type of stuff happens all the time in, you know, the job world, right? So with CDLs, it's probably even worse. So I do want to encourage you guys, don't be silent. Don't feel like, oh, this is my job, you know, I'm making my money, everybody in for themselves. No, talk to your brother, talk to your sister. If you got hired somewhere and you feel like, you know, there's something funny going on, even if you don't feel like it, be more vocal. And that's been my strategy. I like to run my mouth. I'm an introvert, but I will run my mouth sometime. I will run my mouth, and it's probably because I'm an introvert why I run my mouth. That might be weird, but it might be that nervous rambling, like you just talking because you're nervous. So maybe that's what I do. So I don't know. You guys let me know. But for sure, when you go to these companies, man, start running your mouth. Tell people what you make. Find out what other people make. And, you know, make sure that you're researching these companies and you're finding out before you get hired, you know, if anybody had any issues with getting paid or not. Because I hate to see you guys dedicate your time for a company to rip you off, make thousands of dollars off your back. And that's actually the biggest strategy for the mega carriers. They'll hire somebody in who don't even know how to drive a truck, give them a CDL and pay them pennies. And by the time you get experience, they already made thousands of dollars off of you. By the time you get your experience after that 1 or 2 years, man, that company made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of paying you dirt cheap. Not saying that you deserve to get paid anything higher, because as a truck driver, you got to start. You really don't know what you're doing. You got to develop your skill, and somebody's giving you a shot. So you can't really be too mad at somebody giving you a shot, you know, not knowing if you're going to work out or not knowing what type of driver you are, investing hours and money into helping you even getting your CDL. And I'm not trying to advocate for them, but I'm just saying it's a business. If I'm giving somebody a CDL and I'm paying for it, I'm taking a risk. I deserve to get some, you know, plus some. But at the end of the day, these mega carriers sometimes can take it way too far, and these small companies sometimes don't even do the minimum of what it takes to keep drivers in the first place. So comment down below if this has happened to you. If you know anybody that this has happened to, let me know, and drop the company names. And if you want me to make a video on it, I will definitely make a video on it. Once again, thank you guys for making this channel such a special place, and I will see you on the next video. Winston P signing.